Now we're going to talk about state court jurisdiction for a minute. State court jurisdiction, we're going to talk about personal jurisdiction and subject matter jurisdiction. You need both personal jurisdiction and subject matter jurisdiction in order for any court to hear a case. And right now we're just going to talk it easy. We're going to have, we'll just say, the state of Missouri here. And we have A and B, and they both live in the state. Alright, and let's say that A and B enter into a contract. Now there's a breach of the contract and A wants to sue B. And let's say that their claim is for $20,000. Alright, so first you have to say, alright, where does everybody live? A and B both live in Missouri. So state court would have personal jurisdiction over A and B. Why? And this should make sense to you because they both live in the state. And the states are going to have personal jurisdiction over everybody who lives in the state. And that should make sense to you because a long time ago, before everybody was traveling, you did all your business within the state. And we set up our state court system to handle all the disputes of the people and the businesses that were in that same state. So that satisfies the personal jurisdiction prong. So now we have to look at the subject matter jurisdiction. And the first word here, subject, tells you, okay, does the court have the power to hear the kind of controversy we're talking about? And here we have a breach of contract. And within the state courts, and states like to call their courts different names. So New York has a whole different set of names for its state courts compared to Missouri, compared to Texas. So we'll just say categories here. Most states have a small claims court. And you'll have a traffic court. A lot of them will have juvenile court. Some of them will have separate courts that have power over divorces. And then you're going to have what's called your general jurisdiction courts. And that means that at that level of the court system, they can basically hear most any kind of controversy that doesn't fall into one of these categories, or they can hear an appeal from a small claims court. So you're going to do your research project on small claims courts, and you're going to find that states set their own limits on how much money or what kind of controversies they can hear. Most small claims courts set it at less than $10,000. We have a $20,000 dispute. So if A walked into the courthouse and had her papers all filled out, went to the clerk and said, I would like to file my lawsuit against B for $20,000, and she walks into the small claims court clerk's office, the clerk would say, I'm sorry, but we don't have subject matter jurisdiction to hear that case because you have claimed $20,000. Now, if you would like to change your papers and make it less than $10,000, we'll accept your papers. And so A says, okay, well, where do I go? And the clerk would say, well, you need to go to this court of general jurisdiction. Now, remember, it's not called that, but I'm just telling you that the power they have, the subject matter jurisdiction, is going to be at a level it's usually your county courthouse. There is a court and judges that hear these kinds of controversies. Let's say that A and B, now we have a divorce situation. Then we're going to look to see which court in the state is going to handle divorces, or a juvenile case, or you've got a traffic violation. Small claims courts, while they have a dollar limitation, they have other limitations on the kinds of cases they can hear. So, for example, some small claims courts will not hear landlord-tenant disputes. Some will only hear cases for money damages. So if you sold somebody something and they never paid you and you want to get the baseball card collection back, for example, a lot of small claims courts would not have the power to get that card collection back. You'd have to go to a different court. So this is a simplified version, the easy one, where we've got A and B that both live in the same state. So the court has personal jurisdiction over them, and they would have to go file. She would have to file her paperwork in the right courthouse in the state that would have subject matter jurisdiction over that type of case, whatever the controversy is. So that's our simplified example of state court jurisdiction where both parties live in the same state.